He said, I got to tell you something. I said, what you got to tell me? He said, oh, never mind. You'll find out. And I said, okay. He went in the backyard. He came back in. And he knew something was wrong with me. He knew I was pregnant. I didn't tell him. He knew. And so Mother's Day, everything was okay. My brother was not himself when he woke up. I knew something was off. I just couldn't tell what it was. And we took my grandmother out to eat, and she noticed something was wrong with him. She was like, he wasn't eating. He didn't want to eat. He didn't have an appetite. And we was at the restaurant, and he went outside and just stood out there for a while. And my grandma said, something's not right. Then we went to my other grandmother's house, and he was acting strange there as well. He wasn't himself. You can tell he started talking a lot about like the Bible and things like that. I think my brother knew his time was up, and he knew he was leaving. And we left, and we were driving down the street, and I'll never forget, we were driving down the street, and I think my brother was maybe going 55 into 50. So the police got behind us to try to, I guess, to give us because of the speed limit. And instead of my brother slowing down, he sped up. And I remember looking at my brother, and I'm like, slow down, stop the car. And he literally had a blank stare. He had it's almost as if his spirit had left his body, because he froze and nothing was getting through. He wouldn't move. His feet was on the gas. His foot was on the gas, and he was holding the steering wheel. And all I remember doing is I started praying. I said, Father, let me out of this vehicle. And the vehicle slowed down just enough for me to jump out. I jumped out, and I landed in the Walgreens parking lot. And he drove off with the door still open. And I remember the police coming behind me, and she said, Are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. Go after my brother. And she said, I got people on it. We're gonna find him. And I knew when he left, he was gone. I remember standing at the car, and she took me back to my grandmother's house, which was not far away from where we were. And she said, we're going to find him. We got the police out and all of that. And I told her, I said, you're not going to find him. He's gone. I kept saying it over and over. She said, why? No, we're going to find him. We have our guys out there. I said, no, you're not going to find him. He's gone. And when I left, because at that time I was still with my ex, we went back to his house. And his dad worked for the police department on the computers. So he was researching and trying to find stuff and trying to figure out what's going on, and figure out where he was. And we was watching the news, and the news popped up, and they said there was a wreck. And it was my brother. He had hit a tree, and he was ejected out of the vehicle and landed on the other side of the median. He suffered internal bleeding. And when I found out that was him, I remember going to the restroom. I fell and I cried. And that night, I remember sitting in the bed, Indian style, I had my legs crossed, and I didn't sleep the whole night. I sat up in the bed. And that was the hardest thing in the world for me. not only lose a child, but to lose my brother. We had gone through so much together. Our lives were different. We struggled together. We went through a lot of adversities that not many people knew about. Family. Everybody used to say we were partners in crime in my family. On my grandmother's side, it was always me and my brother. If all things would fail, we knew we had each other. And that's when my world crumbled. I fell into a deep depression after that. And I didn't get help. I pushed it down and kept continuing on with life, trying to not grieve and not think about it. And every time Mother's Day would come around, I had to be strong because my family needed me. But I was hurting on the inside for more than one reason. And Mother's Day is different for a lot of people. But it will always be a very tragic moment. Because every year it comes around, my family and I have to relive that day. It's so important to appreciate life, appreciate your children, because it's people out here like me that some things are not afforded to for many reasons. But we strive to stay strong as a family. We try to stay close and love each other and spend time with each other and try to think of all the good times that we had with my brother. And I try my best to continue to move forward in finding peace in my brother's passing and losing a child. And all the women out there, that this may not be the best day for you. I hope that my story gives you some form of relief in a way that you're not the only one. You're not the only one that have gone through things and experiencing the loss, no matter what it may be. And I hope that this will be a story that can reach people that may be going through the same thing. Even years later, I'm still grieving and going through therapy to try to heal because it's difficult. It's not easy. It's not going to be easy. But I'm allowing myself to heal. I'm allowing myself to feel what I feel. And I just want to let you all know that I love you all. I love you all. And I hope you have a beautiful day with your children and your mothers and just family in general. But peace and love be with you all. This is Taylor with Cozy Corner. Have a fantastic evening.